Well, hello, my name's Dave, and today I thought I'd talk for a couple minutes about the Beall Buffing System. It's been popping up a lot on our different websites lately, people talking about it and suggesting it. So I thought I'd take a minute and just show you the different parts. Number one, when you order the Beall Wood Buff Kit, it comes with all of this with the exception of this piece. You get three 8-inch wheels, one for Tripoli wax, one for white diamond, and one for Carnauba Wax. I said Tripoli Wax, that's actually a polish. Then you have your bowl buffs. This is for getting inside of a bowl, and there's one, each one is made differently for the different material. Now each of the wheel buffs is made of a different thing, whether it be linen or just cotton, and you prepare the surfaces of each of the wheels before you get started. So that's how simple it can be. Now this piece is simply a choice. Now you can buy these and use them individually. You can put them on a grinder. You can put them on your lathe. You can buy them at a mandrel where all three are together. Personally, I didn't like that system. They were a little too close together. So I bought the single mandrel post. It extends it obviously away from the headstock. Use a nylon spacer at the end so that it doesn't stick to your steel. It is aluminum, and all you do is spin the wheel on it. So let me take a minute to show you exactly what's what. So we're going to polish this bowl today. Now this has a really nice fine finish to it already, but I think you're going to be very surprised to see the result we get when we buff it. Okay? So let's take a minute, set it up on the lathe. We'll be right back. Okay, here we are. So the first thing we do is put on our nylon washer. And remember, the only purpose that serves is to keep this aluminum from sticking solid to your steel. If you've had the problem in the past and know how hard it can be to take it off. Thread this on. And after that, you're just going to attach your buffer to the end here. Now me, I like to warm up my lathe first. So I turn it on and let it go for just a couple, 3 minutes. Let the bearings get warmed up because we're going to spin this at 1735. And then for the smaller buffs, we'll go ahead and bring it up to about 2000 RPM. Okay, so we'll let that warm up for a minute. I'll go get the buffs and we'll get started. Okay, we're all warmed up and excuse me, warmed up and ready to go. So the first one we're going to use is the Tripoli buffing wheel. And again, like I was mentioning, all you do is thread it on here. That's all it takes. Turn on your lathe, bring it up to about 1700 RPM, same as your low-speed grinder. Okay. First thing I do is clean the wheel a little bit. I simply made a little T-bar to do that with. This knocks off any of the old residue. Now generally I have the dust extractor running. Tripoli's got some stuff in it that you don't really want to get in your lungs. This demonstration I'm going to leave it off for now. Mine's fairly loud at this point. So you have a bar of Tripoli. And all you're going to do is add a little wax. I keep calling it wax, it's a finish. Alright, turn that off for a moment. So one of the things that can happen to you when you're doing this is that the force of the wheel can pull your turning right out of your hands. And it comes out quickly and violently sometimes. So I always made a rule, if there's an opening, I put the opening to the bottom and I use it in this direction, back and forth and back and forth. For the bottom, I always make sure I have my fingers curled around. Always make sure you're ready for it to move, because if you go and put it in a position where it's going to come out of your hand, it's going to flip it real quick. And of course you got bedways for your turning to bang into, and the floor, of course, gravity does work. So always just be aware of how you're holding on to it. and it does not take a lot of pressure. This is a very light, quick process. If you do a lot of pressure, you can take off the finish you've already put on. That's something I didn't cover. This has your finish on it. It's already been finished sanding. This is a polishing step. So all it's going to do is help take out the very fine marks you've left behind. And of course, it's also going to, in your last step, you're going to put your Carnauba wax on it. So let me reposition the camera so you can get a better view of the buffing process, okay? Just be a moment. We're ready to get started here. I've got my fingers curled around with the opening to the downhill side. I'm going to start here at the line so I have a start and stop spot. Let's turn the lathe on. And again, you can see the finish that we have already, and this is step number one. As you can see, it's not much of a, doesn't take any pressure at all. Let's stop for a minute. Look at the difference in that finish that we have right there versus the other side. It looked real good when we started, but now that we've started this, it's a beautiful polish. And this is only the beginning. After we get through this section, we move on to the white diamond wheel, which is even finer, and it creates a very, very nice finish. So here we are to the other side of the bowl already, and you can see it looks real nice. And you can go back over any little areas you thought. And again, I'm barely applying any pressure at all. Now I need to get my bottom. Have my fingers inside the bowl in case it wants to flip on me for some reason. Look at that. Very nice. I hope if Mr. Beall sees this, he thinks I'm doing it right. Now for me on the rim, I always stand to one side and just turn it through. I got my fingers in the bowl, my other hand, my little finger is wrapped around the bottom. Alrighty, so that's all it takes. So the next step is take this wheel off, put the white diamond wheel on, wipe this down first, and then use the white diamond wheel. Alright, so we wipe the bowl down, and all we're doing is trying to knock off some of the residue left over from the Tripoli. That's all. I've already put the wheel on. I've already cleaned it once with the T-bar, and now we're just going to add a little bit of the white diamond. And on this one, you use less. So 1, 2, 3, 4, that should be enough. This stuff goes a long, long way. So again, pick a starting point. This to me is worth every penny of your investment when you buy this system. It's going to last you for years. It enhances every piece you turn. If you do this properly, you can see it's very, very quick. It's nothing at all. And you can see we have really improved every bit of this so far. Okay, so again, one more step. I'm going to take this little guy off, put the wax wheel on, apply the wax, and we're done with the outside of the bowl. I'll be right back. Alright, we're ready. So I've already wiped this down. Again, only purpose is to get any of the residue that's left over by the white diamond. I've already cleaned the buffing wheel. I'm ready to apply a little Carnauba wax to the wheel, and again, this takes very little wax, and in this scenario, less is more. If you put a lot of wax on thinking you're going to get a higher polish, what you end up with is a plasticky, almost sticky feeling finish. So a little practice and you'll have it down to a science. So let me turn the lathe on. Just a couple, it's a small bowl, and starting spot, it does not take any pressure at all. Less is more, very little pressure. Hang on to your bowl though. Now for the inside of the bowl, we'll use those round ones, they call them Beall Buffs. And we go through all the same steps. We use the Tripoli, the white diamond, and then the Carnauba. And I won't have you watch all of those steps. We'll just film the last piece. I'm really hoping you can see the difference in the bowl already. To me, it just looks like a piece of fine furniture at this point. Look at the way, I'm hoping it comes through. Look at the way the grain pops on that. This little white stuff in here will blow out with the air gun, and it'll be fine. But that's finished at this point. So you can see it didn't take any time at all. So let me turn this off. I'll put on the bowl buffs, and we'll do the inside of the bowl, and we'll be done. Okay? Okay, this is the bowl buff. This is the Tripoli. We've brought the lathe up to 2,000. I'm about 2,000, 2,100 here. And this is for doing the inside of the bowls. Nothing hard about it. Just watch it, you don't put the edge of your bowl against this. It's only gonna put a little mark on it that comes off of the buff, but why add more work, right? Alright, that's all it takes. I won't have you suffer through the other one, but I'm gonna go ahead and do the white diamond, and then I'll come back with the Carnauba, okay? It's time for the Carnauba wax. Again, you want to take one more look at the buff before I put it on. They're all color coded in behind, so you know you're grabbing the right one. So that's the same color as the Carnauba. All you do is put it on. I don't know, some of you are dying, wondering if I cheat from time to time and turn on the thing. I do. Once it's on, remember I've already cleaned it. Doesn't take much wax, and we're ready to go. So again, this is the last step. You can choose to go any direction you want. I like going up and down like this on the last step. I think it gives a good shine. And then I round out the bottom with it, and we call it. I'm hoping you can see the inside of that. That's always hard to do by hand. So now we have a bowl that's been polished. I think it accents everything really nice. It looks like a piece of furniture to me, almost like a piano finish. But that's as hard as it is to use the Beall system. So let's wrap up here. Okay. That completes a quick review of the Beall wood buff system. We took a bowl, put a nice finish on it, like I used the comment, a piano finish. I think it's warrants that call. It is just as smooth as can be. Again, the parts that came in the box, there's a small mandrel for adding it to your grinder. I chose to use the long mandrel for the lathe. This was about $30, I believe it was. I'm not sure where I got it, Craft Supplies or Peachtree maybe. You get the 3 8-inch buffs, one for Tripoli, one for white diamond, and one for wax. You also get the bowl buffs, the inside ones. Remember, they're all color coded inside so you don't mess that up. And then you get the 3 bars, which actually I don't have one here. You would get the Tripoli, the white diamond, and the Carnauba. And they tell me that pretty much you will not need to buy another bar. But that's as tough as it gets. Realistically, it took much longer to do the video than it would have to just buff the bowl, or a number of bowls if you wanted. I've done that before where I set up 5 or 6 bowls to do. But realistically, it takes about 3-5 minutes to do a bowl just because of the change-ups. So there you go. We keep talking about it on so many of our different Facebook forums and whatnot, and I thought I'd take a minute to show you how the magic worked. Okay, thanks. This is Dave from Turning Round. Have a great day and keep on turning. Thanks. Well, hey, I need to make a quick correction. I was talking about what came in the box, and I said that the smaller bowl buffs were included. These are the 2 or 3-inch bowl buffs. They are a separate purchase, and I'm sorry if I let you think that was all included in the box. Also, I looked it up, and all of the Beall products are available web-wide. I mean, Craft Supply sells them, Amazon sells them, the works. Everybody out there, Highland Hardware, Woodturner's Catalog. So you will not have problem finding it, and they're all within pennies of each other type of thing. But again, I think it's a well worth purchase. You get great results. Many of you talk about what should I charge at a show. Let me tell you, when you buff your product and your people pick up that product at a show and they feel how fine that is in their hand, it makes a giant difference. So again, I believe the system is well worth every penny you spend on it, and I think you will really enjoy the effect. And sorry for the inconvenience of letting you think it came in the big box. All right, so thanks again. Keep on turning. Bye-bye.